Okay, I think I've got the camera running. I'm still alive, guys. I'm still alive. Okay, it's Saturday today. I had my surgery on Thursday morning. And let me just explain in this video what happened and also how the procedure went and what happened and how has been my experience after the surgery up to today. And also how's my vision. That's the final part. First things first, Thursday morning I woke up with an empty stomach. I went to the clinic, and before I went out of the house I was supposed to put 2 drops of product in my eyes, left eye and right eye, because I'm doing the implant on both eyes at the same time. And yeah, off to the clinic. A lot of traffic jam, but we finally made it in time. And at 9:30 I stepped into the clinic, and the first thing they did do to me is guide me to the room next, or not the room, but the waiting area right next to the surgery room. And I was given I think it's 2 drops in every eye of another product that was a little bit itchy, that particular product, these particular drops, actually made my eyelids go and sleep. So it's some kind of an anesthesisis eye drops. So if you scratched here, you felt that actually you didn't feel it anymore, so it felt different in a different way. And they also put some pills, 2 little pills that I had to put under my eyelid, my lower eyelid, inside the eyelid actually. And because of my eyes already sleeping, they did it instantly. So put the 2 drops, and then like maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes later, I had these little pills implanted. And then I think I also received two pills I had to swallow, and I don't know what these are about, but I think it's just to calm me down. And they gave me 1 pill that I had to take with me at home, and I was supposed to use or to swallow this pill in the evening. And the lady told me this pill will actually decrease the pressure on your eyeballs overnight. And it's only a one-time shot. It's only one time I had to take these pills, or this particular pill. About 30 minutes later, I was inside the pre-operative surgery room. So it was about 10, maybe 10, something like that, maybe 10:15. And what they did there is they inserted the Baxter right here in my hand. So I had to get the Baxter. This is the lady who is responsible for the anesthesisis, and she told me that I was supposed to be calm during the operation, and I told her, put it on the maximum level. I don't want to feel, because I'm a pretty nervous individual. So don't let me suffer too much. And she said, yeah, we can put it to a certain extent, but we can only increase it while the operation is busy, and if you are getting a little bit upset or uncomfortable. So about 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, I went into the surgery room, and this is where the surgery started. What I'm going to explain you right now actually happened to both eyes, so I'll explain it just once, of course. And the doctor told me he was going to do my right eye first, and the second eye on the list is the left eye. So got laid down. By the way, before I had to go, or before I was allowed to go into the surgery room, I had to put some cloth, paper cloth, and some kind of a shoe cloth that I had to put over my shoes, and also a cap for my hair. I think it's just to make things as clean as possible, and to avoid infection from whatever you might bring into the surgery room. And yeah, there we are. This is where it's going to happen. So the doctor told me, right eye, that's where we start. So the first thing first, he did two things. He put some disinfectant in my eye, which I think is alcohol based. So, well, I don't need to explain to you what happens when you put alcohol into your eye. If you have alcohol on a wound, you get this very spicy feeling, I would say. So, of course, yes, that was a little bit painful. Actually, the first drops before I went into the surgery room were feeling more or less the same, but this was a little bit more spicy. And yeah, then the doctor told me, okay, first things first, I'm gonna mark where the incisions will be made. And he had a marker apparently, and with the marker he actually tells the two incisions that have to be made in the eyeball. So in fact they made an incision at, I would say, like what is it, from my point of view, like 3 p.m. and one at 8 p.m. Sorry, 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock. So a little bit like this. They were not like straight in front of each other. They were inclined. Okay, not important. But next thing that he said, yeah, we're going to put a junction cup on top of your eye, and you might feel pressure. So indeed, there's some kind of a junction cup, a suction cup, I think it is called, into or onto my eyeball. And the suction cup itself felt really, awful. So it's a little awkward feeling. But, I just keep on thinking back, like the first time I went to the dentist. It's an, weird feeling as well. So especially when they inject the dormant product into your teeth. Or into your mouth. But anyway, that said, everything went black. So of course the suction cup covers your eyeball, covers your iris, and you get, of course, a black scenery. And what happened next is that the laser was going to make the incision, so into the eyeball. Was going to crush actually the original lens in my eye, and that took about 3-4 minutes, I think, maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter. It's difficult to actually find out the length of the procedure, but I think it's about 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And after that's done, he took away the suction cup, and the doctor told me, yes, that's done. You've done it very good. Now the next step, we're going to take out your original lens, and that's done manually. And when he had to do that, he need to position a specific light on my eye, and that was really bright. I told the doctor, wow, that's too bright. I cannot keep my eye open. That's too bright. And there's two things that happened when I was telling this to the doctor. The first thing he said, I'm going to decrease the intensity of the light. And then he told the lady who is doing the anesthesisis, put a little bit more. So, okay, that's what happened. There are two lights, white lights that I could see. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, but the only thing I remember before he was taking out the lens, the original lens, or sucking it out, is that these lights were not in a round shape. It's like, an eclipse, the moon be in front of the sun in the two lights. So you had, I would say you've got these two lights, and every light was a little bit covered, like, so it's like an eclipse in front of the light. So I don't know if it was supposed to be like that, or why it was like that, but sorry, that's I normally I'm not supposed to cough. So that's what happened. That's where he started to do the next part of the procedure, taking out the original lens, and that took about 3 to 4 seconds. And wow, that light was very bright. Also, when he took out the lens, it was still very, very bright. And I tried to focus to these lights, because that's what you're supposed to do. So finally, that's what was done. And once these lenses were taken out, the doctor told me, okay, now the original lens is out of your eye. We're going to the next step, is going to insert the trifocal lens into your eye. next thing that happened, of course, is I still had to focus on these two dots. He was going to insert the trifocal lens. By the way, I know it's a fine vision micro f, so it's the newest version of the trifocal fine vision lenses. Fine vision is I think a company from Liège here in Belgium, so I'm surprised it's a Belgian product. But anyway, it took about maybe 3 to 4 minutes to actually put the lens in there and to position the lens and put it in the right angle. And that 3 minutes were passed. I think I started to count like one. He said it's going to take 3 minutes, 4 minutes, so I started to count. I tried to concentrate on something else, but the procedure, like 1, 2, 3. So I said, okay, if it's going to be 5 minutes, it's going to be 300. So that's what I did, and finally the lens was implanted, and then the next eye was on the list. During the procedure, what I noticed, of course, is that he was continuously putting some kind of a liquid on top of your eye, so you could feel the water dripping out of your eye, being sucked up by the cap that I had. So the cap at the back was completely wetted at the end of the procedure. And after the procedure was done, I was given this, and I had to put these on, and indeed you need these, because the light intensity that you get after you have this surgery done right away is impressive. So it's a very, very high light intensity. So I had to wear these, and I was actually guided as a blind man to the waiting room right next to the surgery room, and there is a window that actually looks out of the clinic, and it's a sunny day that particular day, and wow, that was so bright. I couldn't take off these, and I was feeling like I have to close my eyes because it's way too bright, so I kept my eyes shut for the time being, and I was in that waiting room for another 3 to 4 minutes, maybe 10 minutes at maximum. I was given a coffee, which I almost had to feel where it was, and I also received little twigs. That's good. So the Dr. Evans came to me, and he told me, like, you can go home now. The procedure has been done successfully. Take some rest when you're back home. And that's where I was guided out of the waiting room, and that's where I partially saw my brother and father waiting for me because they were going to drive me back home. Was it painful or not painful? Yes, it did hurt a little bit. It's not like, you're gonna scream out loud from, if I cut myself, sometimes it's sometimes even more painful. So yes, it is weird because it's some kind of a pain that you never have, because it's a particular part of your body that never gets hurt, where you never get a scratch or a wound. So yes, it did not hurt, but was it bad? No. Would I do it again? Would I be afraid? No, I could do it again. So it's not a big issue, but of course I hope I don't have to do it again. But anyway, that's I think it's the same with the dentist. If you go to the dentist the first time, maybe you don't want to do it again, but you get more and more confident the more you go further down the lane. So anyway, after going back home, it's maybe about half an hour drive, maybe 45 minutes drive from the clinic to my home. I couldn't keep my eyes open. It was just, first of all, I think it's the anesthetizers as well, but also when I opened my eyes, it was so bright. With even these glasses on, it was so bright. I couldn't keep my eyes open, and each time when I opened it and closed my eyes again, there was like water dripping out of my eyes. So that was, uncomfortable. So the only moments that I opened my eyes when I was driving home, was when we were, on the motorway, and there was a overpass over the motorway where you had shade. and I had my eyes shut, and you know, even this with my eyes shut was like, whoa, that's too bright. So I dared to open my eyes with these glasses on when I realized that we were under a bridge and there were some shadows. So, and once I get out of the shadow, I just shut my eyes again because it was too bright. And then there is a final stage in the route back home. There is a long tunnel. So at that moment, I kept my eyes open, and to tell you how the vision was, everything was blurry. Whether it's close by, whether it's far away, everything was blurry. So it was pretty awkward. So I couldn't really, you know, I could see the trucks, but it was very blurry, you know. Getting back home, I asked my, you know, my parents and family members to lower the shutters, so it was not that bright in the house, and I got some food because it was like 1 p.m. when I got back home, and I went to bed. I wanted to go and get some rest and get a little bit of a sleep. I didn't have a sleepless night, by the way. I was okay. So I slept for 3 hours, maybe two. Yeah, it was two. Okay, it was 2 hours. So at 3 p.m. I woke up, and I had my smartphone right next to me. The first thing I did was taking my smartphone, and gosh, I can read my smartphone. That was impossible just before. So I think the procedure went all right, right? So this is what happened. I could read my smartphone. The first thing I did was wake up and tell my parents, like, hey, look, I can read the small print on my smartphone. The short vision was good. Is good. I can see my smartphone. I can see very small print, very small print, and the short vision is perfect. It's really perfect. Medium vision was blurry, and far vision was very blurry. Okay, that's what I realized at 3 p.m. the day at the surgery. So the rest of the day I tried to sleep, and I woke up, and one thing I noticed as well is like I see the edge of the lens here. I can still see it right now, like here, like I can see my hand up to here. So yeah, it's far enough, but it's like, you know, you feel that something is different than before. Now, what happened the last 2 days? How is my vision? I have these papers. I don't have it with me. I'll put it on my next video because that's where I'm going to start to talk about the results in more detail. I've printed out these letters and this stuff, and I think yeah, I can read all the small print. I can keep stuff, and I can keep my, you know, I can keep this as close as this. Well, what is it, like 10 centimeters? So I can see my finger very clearly, so up to here, and then it starts to become blurry. But I think that's the eyesight of a 10 or 12-year-old boy. So perfect, absolutely perfect for short vision. So I can really look very sharp. Now, what about the medium or intermediate and far vision? It's still not okay. We are 3 days further down the road. It is still blurry. One thing I noticed on the video that I made last time, you can see the door of the chicken house there. You can see the square and the window. Well, that's actually about the same that I get with my eyes. So the camera perceives exactly the same what I see. And you can see far away, I see a little bit better than what you see on the camera. So I can see the street lights. I cannot see, yeah, I can barely see the cables that are hanging between the street lights. Okay, so I can see it, but because, you know, yeah, one thing I had to do a checkup the next day. So yesterday I went to the hospital again, and the doctor, he's told me I'm on schedule. So everything is okay. I'm on schedule. I've got almost 20/20 vision already. But I know that before I did my operation, I had like 20/13, so which is very good. I I could read stuff that other people would only read at 13 feet. So that's actually the meaning of 2013 or 2020. 2020 means that at 20 feet, you can read the script that everybody else can read at 20 feet. Then you have script on a paper. You have to go walk away from the paper or from the from the testing paper, 20 feet. And if you can read smaller print, I could read up to 13 feet. So I mean, from 20 feet, I could read the script that normal people would perceive at 13 feet. So I hope this vision will come back, because I love my far vision as well. I have been reading on internet a couple of studies regarding the fine vision micro F procedure and the POD, which is a previous lens. And there was a study, and we're talking about, the experience of their customers after 10 days. And it's clearly stated that normally it's too early. So in fact, the far vision will gradually improve. There's actually 3 steps in the recovery of your eyes. The first step is the surgery incision recovery. So it's the physical recovery. And after the surgery, I need to take 2 kinds of drops, 2 kinds of products. I need to put of each of these 2 products 3 to 4 drops a day in every eye. So this goes for about a week, and then I only have 1 type of an eye drop that I need to continue to put into my eyes for the next 3 weeks. Again, between 3 and 4 times a day. So just to give you some information about the vision that I have, is it perfect? For short and reading, yes, I have gained back my reading skills. I can really read very small print, so that is absolutely wonderful. Medium and far away, am I satisfied? No. So I don't know how it will evolve, but probably it's way too early. I told you the first is a physical recovery. The second is a positioning of the lens that will gradually position itself into the eyeball. And the third part of the recovery procedure is going to be the brain recovery, because you get a total new lens into your eyeball, and this lens is actually made of different layers, and these different layers, they are perceived by the receptacle in your eye in a different way, and your brain needs to understand how to interpret, how to understand these different waves that are actually going through your eye. And gradually you will start to see an improved eyesight also for far away. And this procedure will start around day number 10. Okay, and I had to restart my smartphone because I think these video files, they can only go to about 4 gig, and then they stop. So I think it's inherent to the FAT32. Anyway, that's something else. But am I satisfied? Yes and no. Far side, intermediate side is not perfect. I had a better far and intermediate side before the surgery, but I'll wait. And this is why I'm going to make a couple of more videos regarding my experience and testimonial on the implant of the fine vision trifocal micro F. And do I see an improvement? Yeah, I definitely see an improvement from 2 days ago, that's for sure. So it starts to become a little better. How is my vision regarding colors? Is there a change? Yes, there is a change. White is a little bit less white. It feels a little bit more like I have some sunglasses on my nose all the time. So the white is a little bit more brownish. Okay. Do I see with other colors? That's difficult to say. So I think it's only the white brightness that is just a little bit like softened, I could say it. Is the vibration, or no, the how could I say, the yeah, the difference in colors is also a little bit less. So yes, that's also a small difference. Does it hurt after the operation? Well, you find yourself having a little bit like a sore feeling. You can feel something has changed. So that's something I would like to point out. So with these drops, I try to decrease the pain or the uncomfort that I have. What about the color intensity? I think it's the same as before. The brightness that I get right after the operation is something that I didn't experience the next day, although I still was putting on these glasses from time to time. Did I see some other stuff? Well, yeah. What I noticed is that after the operation, the same day I went for a walk, and when I came back from the walk around the block, which is about 1 kilometer, I noticed that my left eye was like the white was more brown than my right eye, so I could see the difference. I could see the difference between both eyes, and that's what happened. Okay, I'll give you an update on the block in a few days, like from 8 to 10 days from now, and let you know how the procedure has affected my far sight and if it's going to be better or not. Stay tuned.